If you watch this video and do exactly what I'm about to lay out for you, I can guarantee you that your business will be better at sales than it is now. This means a higher closing percentage. This means more revenue. And this means a bigger business because more sales leads to a bigger business. And before I start this video, I just want to say, because you're watching me on the internet, so I have to say this. If you find yourself watching content nonstop, and if you're honest with yourself and you realize that you're not acting out on any of this new shit you're learning, well, then you need to stop watching content. Don't watch me, don't watch anybody, because you're not taking what you learn and actually applying it to your business. So there's no sense in watching content. There's times where I'll learn something and I'm like, fuck, I got to do that. I got to add that to my business. And then guess what has to happen next? I have to spend a full day on a Saturday, or 2 full days on a Saturday and Sunday, or multiple full days across a month to actually implement that into my business. And in today's video, what I'm gonna give you will take some doing. You're gonna have to sit down at the computer and work on the same thing for, it depends. I don't know how complex your business is. I don't know how many different offerings you sell. I don't know, but it could be 8 hours, it could be 16 hours, it could be 30 hours. But once you sit down and do it once, well, now your business has that little piece, that little add-on that you just gave it forever. And tweaking it down the road is easy, but you have to build it out. And there's a lot of things in my business, and I spend a lot of time on things today that are just like, build this thing for my business, spend the time now, and then save my business the time forever, or improve my business forever because I spent that time. Today's Sunday. Yesterday, I spent, I think, 9 hours straight working on the same thing. I'm building out an Excel sheet so that I can teach a computer software how to do inventory math so that inventory can be automated. The night before that, I stayed at the office till 11 o'clock working on the same thing. I probably spent 17 hours across 2 days working on one thing. But that one thing is going to lead to needing less employees in the future. It's going to lead to more accurate inventory counts. It's going to lead to easier and more accurate bookkeeping because the inventory software speaks to QuickBooks. So it removes all the work in between and all the manual journal entries to take things out of inventory because I spent the 17 hours to build it. And there's a lot of things like that in our businesses, things in our businesses that we need, that we don't have, that we need to build and input into the business so that the business has them and so that the business is improving. And today's video is one of those. It's going to be one of those. And today I'm going to talk about tiered pricing, offering options in your sales presentations, offering options and the way that we present those options to the homeowner. And when we provide options, it changes the sales conversation a little bit. Everybody knows that they're supposed to get 3 quotes or 4 quotes or 5 quotes. Every homeowner shops for roofs. I mean, very rarely you get one that doesn't shop. We know this. If I was guiding a stranger homeowner in a different market on how to select a contractor, I would tell them best practice would be to speak to multiple guys. So because they're comparing estimates, they're in a comparison mode. So when you go to the house, if you have one roof price, you give them one roof price, your shingle roof is going to cost $15,000. Well, they have to take that and compare it to other ones because we tell them to do that. Everybody tells them to do that. That's what everybody does. But what if you give them 3 shingle prices? Well, now they can shop within your company. And does it mean that homeowners are not going to get quotes from other people ever again? Of course not. But you're going to put them in that comparison mode right in front of you, shopping with 3 options in your company. So now a lot of your sales conversations are going to be around what option is best for the homeowner. And that's a better place to sell from than, here's my price, do you want to choose me? Because now we're guiding the homeowner on what option will be best for them. We speak to the homeowner, we see what their needs are, we see what their concerns are, and then on the spot, we can craft up the best 3 options to put in front of that individual homeowner. Maybe it's options between multiple roof systems. So maybe it's a shingle quote and then 2 metal options. It's always 3 options. Maybe it's 3 shingle options or 3 metal options. Maybe they want to look at tile and see how it compares to metal. So maybe I put 1 tile option in front of them and then 2 metal options. But we have 27 different options that we can put together in any 3 option quote that we want. And my reps can do it instantly, and that's later we're gonna get to the build part of it. So you wanna offer options. We don't just wanna tell people like, here's my roof price, choose us. I think Tommy Mello says it, and I think he heard it from somebody else. If you're not giving options, you're giving ultimatums. We don't wanna give people ultimatums. Think about it. If you need a new TV, what do? You go on your phone, you start looking at TVs, you look at the prices, you see what's out there, you're shopping. That is a normal shopping behavior. Well, when you're selling something like a roof, the homeowners are shopping also. So we want to give them options so they feel like they have the freedom of choice. We want to put options in front of homeowners and let them choose. And we'll educate them. We'll give them our opinions on certain things, but we want to let them choose. So now you're entering sales appointments like, yeah, I'm going to get up on the roof. I'm going to look around, see what you need. You know, I talk to you. I kind of know what you're looking for. And then we can go over your options and we'll see what you want to do. Provide options. Ask them what they want to do. Which one's your favorite? You can already probably see how this is a better way to sell. And all large corporations know this. It's very common in like software. So like if you're getting ready to sign up for like a new software, maybe for your business or whatever, everyone's very familiar with the page on the screen you come to where it's like option 1, option 2, option 3. It's got a little highlight of what you get with this package, what you get for this package, and what you get for this package with the prices underneath. We have those same exact sheets in our business. So depending on which 3 option quote you're gonna get, we have a nice little comparison chart. And that way it's like the highlights of what you get in each individual option, because we're not expecting homeowners to want to go through 3 line item scope of works for every single product we offer. We just want to give them the highlights, the quick and easy to digest highlights. So it makes it simple for homeowners. You get this with this one, you get this with this one, and you get this with this one. And we're not using crazy roofing language. We're using language that a 3rd grader could understand. Homeowners aren't roofers. So if you can put that nice, clean 1 page in front of a homeowner with the different options they're looking at, organized most expensive to middle to cheapest, with the summary of what they're going to get with each, with the price attached, well, now it's very easy for them to understand what options we're putting in front of them, and it's easy for them to kind of decide, like, hey, I don't need all that. Oh, 250 mile an hour, that's a lot more than that one, win rating. Oh, the warranty's bigger with this one. So they can see in a very clear way what they're looking at. We want to make it simple for homeowners. We don't want to confuse them. I used to confuse homeowners with roofing terminology, with all this shit. We don't want to do that. We don't want to bore people. We want them to understand. We want to remove all question marks from the sales presentation. Everything needs to be clear and concise, because any question marks are going to lead to hesitation. But if you check all the boxes, you answer all their questions, there's no confusion, they like you, you have a great reputation, you presented everything in an impressive way, you're going to sell more jobs. And the other reason you want to offer tiered pricing is because when we implemented this, we used to just have 1 option, and I'm going to get into building these in a little bit. Well, when I added a cheaper option and then a more expensive option to my existing option, well, what do we find out? There's a lot of people that are willing to pay even more than they were paying before, because we keep selling this premium option that we never even used to offer. And then what else do we find out? Oh, well, some people are going with the economical option. So those are customers we probably wouldn't have been able to sell a roof to. But now that we added this cheaper option, we increased our closing percentage by getting those guys. And they're still happy. They still hired us. So we're adding more revenue on this side and more jobs on this side. And yes, most people fall in the middle. But the people that fell in the middle now visually see that, yeah, I went with the middle of the road option. I didn't need the premium. I didn't need the economical. I went with the middle of the road option. Another question you might have is, a lot of people just say they want the cheapest roof. And some of my reps will ask me, like, can I just give them the cheap option? No, absolutely not. You still give them all 3 options. Why would you do that? Well, you would do that so that they can visibly see, okay, there's the premium expensive, there's the mid-range, here's the cheap. I wanted the cheap, I'm going with the cheap. Because now they can see this, oh, I'm getting the cheapest option. If you just give them your cheap option by itself, well, then how are they going to find out if that's the cheap option, that they're getting the deal? By comparing it to other companies. And your cheap option might not be cheaper than other companies' options. But if you show them that you're giving them our Fox Haven economical option, well, maybe they still want to hire Fox Haven, and they're going to understand that it's cheap because they're going to see the more expensive options, and they're going to be happy because they know they're getting a bargain. So even for the guys that tell you straight up, I want the cheapest roof, we're still going to put 3 options in front of them so that they can see they're getting the cheapest roof. I think I've explained and shown you why offering 3 options to every single homeowner is a good idea. I'm sure you agree with me based on what I said already. So let's get into how you're going to do this. So like I mentioned before, I used to offer 1 option. Maybe that's what you do. You offer 1 option to all your homeowners. You're going to look at that option that you offer, and you're going to beef it up. So in my example, I've got installation methods that are increased to get higher win ratings. I've got longer warranties that I can give them. I've got superior peel and stick underlayments, like top of the line, thicker mill. I've got all painting included. So like if we're replacing fascia around the house, we'll paint that in our top option. Aluminum roof vents and aluminum pipe jacks versus the rubber pipe boots and galvanized goosenecks. You know, everybody's different, markets are different, but just look at your existing option and think, if I can beef this up to the Mercedes-Benz, what could I add to it? Boom, now you have your premium option. Go back to your existing current offer. Okay, if I could strip this away and make this cheaper, what could I take away and still give people a new roof that they're happy with? In my example, I can use synthetic underlayments, and there's a cost to that, but a lot of times people that want to go with the cheaper option are willing to pay that cost because they want a good price. So take it out. This isn't your roof, and I used to think that if a customer wanted a cheap roof, then they shouldn't call us. Well, that's dumb. That's immature. That's bad business. That's not my fucking house. Who am I to tell a homeowner how they need to do their roof? They're still going to get a great company and a great service. So what if we use some cheaper materials? That's what this homeowner wants. We're letting homeowners decide where they fall into the market. We're not going to tell them where they fall into the market. Strip out everything you still can while still giving someone a good roof. And yes, bring the warranty down. In my 3 options, it's always shortest warranty, mid warranty, longest warranty. Budget materials, standard materials, premium materials. Maybe there's extra services, mid-range services, and less services. Because an important thing to note is we're not playing with the profit margins to get the price ranges. All the profit margins across the whole system are the same. We're stripping services or adding services, or adding material costs or stripping material costs. So our profit margin percentages stay the same across the board. That's what makes the price differences. So your first step is to do that activity. So in my market, we do concrete tile roofs, we do metal roofs, we do shingle roofs. I have a bunch of different offerings. We have 27 different individual options. So I had to go through and build out options for all the different roof systems we offer. Maybe you're in a part of a country where you only do shingle. Good, it'll be simpler for you. And maybe you can even add more than 3 options and use them intertwined. So like I think I have 5 shingle options. So I'm only going to put 3 in front of the homeowner, but I have 5 depending on conversation, depending on their needs. I'll choose which 3 to put in front of them. So go through and build out different ways to do roofs. There's a million different ways to do roofs. You should offer more than one way. So start to build out estimate templates, line item estimate templates on, your different options. Your cheaper, your mid-range, and your premium. And it doesn't just have to be 1, 1, and 1. You can have 1 cheap option, you can have 3 middle options, and you can have 2 premium options. And when you're building your options, another thing you can think about is, what are some things that I typically offer as upgrades? So an example for me would be thicker gauge metal. So I've got 26 gauge, I've got 24 gauge. Well, a lot of times I could offer a 26 gauge quote with an upgrade option for 24 gauge. But if that's an option I always want to put in front of homeowners, well, then I should build out its own layout so that that's just the premium option. So I may give someone a quote that has a 26 gauge in the bottom, a 26 gauge in the middle, and then 24 gauge in the premium. And then I remove the need to list 24 gauge as an upgrade because I want to minimize the amount of upgrades that are on every single quote. So I've made it so that attic fan and gutters are the only 2 upgrade options that are saved in our templates, and that gives my reps more room in the upgrade department to add more individualized things. Like, hey, when I was up there, I noticed that your chimney cap was pretty rusted. I'm going to provide an option for a new chimney cap. Or, oh yeah, you need hurricane straps. I got up in the attic, you don't have hurricane straps. I'm going to add them as an option because that'll make your insurance cheaper and it'll make your home stronger in a hurricane. So now we have room in all our quotes to give them individualized upgrades, which is a better use of the upgrade category. If I already have a lot of things that I consistently offer as upgrades, I can't offer 9 upgrades to a homeowner. That's confusing. We want to have everything clear and concise. So you might find, if you look at it, if you look at what you're doing, that you've got certain things that you've always offered as upgrades but could really be their own option. And then that's going to free up your upgrade category, so it's obvious that you're giving them a solution that is for them. So when you're building these things out, really look at your upgrades. Look at what you consistently offer as upgrades and think to yourself, could this just be its own option? And then free up that upgrade category for other things. Once you have those built, well, now you need to build your comparison charts. So that is those nice, clean one-pagers that's going to allow homeowners to look at the different options that are being offered and easily be able to digest what they get with this one, what they get with this one, and what they get with this one. That page is very important because you can't just show them prices and say this one's good, this one's better, this one's the best. Well, they need to see that. But they can't see it from your scope of work because homeowners don't like reading scope of works. Like probably 10% of homeowners actually like reading that line item by line item. You're putting 3 in front of them. Well, if they didn't like reading 1, they definitely don't like reading 3, and especially just to come to a decision on which one they want. We don't want to put homeowners in that situation. So you need the clean, easy to digest sheet. So you're going to have to build it. It should be branded. It should look nice. It should be easy to read. And just think about, go Google tiered pricing sheet, and you'll see different samples. You probably already have it in your head from the software example I gave you. Everybody's familiar with looking at that. Everybody can understand that. You don't even need to explain what that is because we've all seen them before. So put that in your business. So step 1. Spend a full day on Saturday building out all your different options and then building the estimate templates for every option, because just because we're putting the easy to read comparison chart in front of them, we still need to have a scope of work included in the contract because it needs to be there. So we put our scope of works underneath the signing pages, like kind of towards the bottom of our packet where our terms and conditions are. It's there if you want to read it, but we're not gonna go through it with you because we know you don't want to. So we have our comparison chart above the signing page as the sheet where they can decide which one they want, then the signing page, and then scope of work line item estimate underneath. But you still need to build those out so you know what you're looking at. Then you need to build your comparison charts. So what are the different combination of 3 option quotes you're going to send out? For every different combination of 3, you're going to need a nice, clean, pre-made comparison chart. It should live in a software where you can include the prices on there and then pull it into your proposal, because you want the prices on the comparison chart page. So on ours, we have 3 boxes with all the information, the title, saved in a branded template, and then we have 3 circular spaces above each option that we have in like a system called Natural Forms, where the reps can just go in, add the prices, save it, and then put that in their quote. You want that. That's going to help. It's going to make the conversations in the home easier. It's going to let your homeowners understand when they're looking at an emailed quote without really having to go into too much detail about how the options are given. All they have to do is look at the page one time and they know what it is and they know what they're looking at. Once you have those 2 things done, well, now you have to figure out your quick estimating around each individual option so that it doesn't take you 3 hours to put a proposal together. But there's ways to do this, which I've talked about before. I'm sure your CRM has instant estimating tools. So now you have to build the instant estimating layouts so that your reps can do this quickly in 2 minutes. I can give you 27 roof quotes in probably 5 minutes. You're going to need that tool. You're going to need that tool. And if you don't have that tool, you hearing me say that I can give you 27 roof quotes in 5 minutes, you're probably like, what? What the fuck? I need that. Yes, you need that. And that's another one of those things that's going to take you 10 hours on a Saturday, or maybe 18 hours on a Saturday and Sunday. But once you have it built, your whole business improves. Your estimating becomes consistent. Your profit margins are protected. Your time is saved. It's like you fucking need it. So just spend the time in a dungeon of a room on the computer and build the shit out. And I promise you'll be so happy when it's done. And all your team is going to be impressed. And everybody's going to be... It's good for everybody. It's good for everybody. I just had a new sales rep start last week who was selling like commercial pest control and insulation for like a pest control company. But sales guy was a pretty high-level sales guy, just not in a great opportunity. So I'm excited about what he's going to do in roofing. Within a day of seeing our CRM, our estimating tools, all the stuff, he's like, dude, this is fucking insane. He's like, you guys are like, this. I've never seen anything like this. Like, everything is so simple. Everything's so quick. Everything's so automated. Like, the dude was so impressed. You want to have that type of business where new team members come on and they're impressed with what you got going on and they feel good about where they work and they feel like the company's on the cutting edge of technology and the company cares about making things easy for their employees. And then in the background for you, you'll be happy because a big complaint I hear from roofing business owners is that their sales reps don't run profitable jobs, and then they still want their commission check at the end of the job, but the job only made 7% and their commission is 7%. So like, am I supposed to pay him the commission and just break even on that job? No, but you as the business owner are supposed to take control over your company's estimating practices so that you're running profitable jobs consistently. Before I sign a commission check, my GM puts a P&L report of that individual job that's related to that commission check. If there was a couple jobs on that commission check, I'll have a couple P&Ls to look at. And before I sign the check, I look at the P&L for the job, and every single time, it's more than what we estimated for. Now, a lot of times that's change orders and woodwork, but we're not losing on jobs, ever. Ever. I shouldn't say ever. There's some nightmares, but like you're never going to get around that. Things happen. But the nightmares aren't caused because of bad estimating. They're other things. You want to have that type of business. Like I remember when I first started consistently tracking P&Ls after the jobs, I was losing on a lot of fucking jobs. A lot of them. And that's what prompted me to get into the instant estimating, because I'm like, dude, this needs to be consistent. Like, it needs to be. It needs to be. I need to make the gross profit on every job that I need, and I need to know I'm going to make it. So then I went down the journey of building all this stuff out for my business, and I've never had that problem again. And what you're going to find out when you fix your estimating and you automate it and you build out proper layouts and you correct your estimating is that you're going to raise your prices without trying to raise your prices. You didn't make the decision you wanted to increase your prices, but you dialed in on your estimating, and now you realize your prices are higher. And now you need to deal with the price objections. And some of the ways you could do that is what I'm talking about in this video. Provide them options. Let them shop within your company. And if you've done everything else right, and everyone likes your reps, and everyone thinks you have a great reputation, and your reps presentation is good, you're going to get more jobs through offering options than you would if you didn't. I promise. I guarantee it. If you have more questions, you can put them in the comments or hit me up on one of the socials. I'll walk through this with you in detail. And like I said, this is just, you have to just sit down and do the fucking work. That's it. Just sit down and do the work. So you got the instant estimating tools you need to build. You need to build them around the new layouts that match your options that you're now going to provide. And then you need to build the comparison charts. And now you offer tiered pricing in your business forever. You give people options, not ultimatums. Your reps can offer those options quick, easy, and accurate, meaning profits, accurate, instantly in the driveway. It could take them 2 minutes. They could put 20 options in front of a homeowner in 2 minutes. And if your competition can't do that, well, then you have a leg up. And the only reason you don't have this stuff in your business now is because you haven't sat down and spent the hours on it. But that's very easy to do. So sit down and spend the hours on it. If you need help, let me know.